All right, Tyler. So how much time do you actually have to enjoy London 2012 between all the kind of competitions and the medals awards ceremonies?
After I did what I did in the 200 backstroke, it was it was pretty wild between going to see my family and media relations and things like that. So I actually didn't have a whole lot of time right after swimming was over to get to enjoy London, but I did get to DJ twice in town at a club called China White. That was absolutely amazing, and I was able to take my girlfriend down to France for a couple of days.
Have you ever played any Sega's London's 2012 video games or Sonic and Mario at London Olympic Games, and what do you think of those?
I did not know of any Sega video games, but if I had the chance or if I'd known about it, I definitely would have.
What do you think of the fact that Michael Phelps has his own Kinect video game for Xbox 360 called Push the Limits? Have you played it?
I've never played it, but I've seen advertisements for it, and I think it's kind of an interesting concept. I'd be curious to see what gameplay's like.
We're at the Curse Gaming House. What do you think of the fact that there's such a thing as professional video game players?
Pretty awesome. One of the guys downstairs was, he put it in an interesting way that probably can't be on the video, but it's basically you're a professional at being able to mess around all day, which is pretty nice.
How does their house compare to the other Olympic Village apartments?
Oh man, if all of the Olympic Village apartments were like the gaming house, I would have stayed there much longer. The apartments in London were amazing when you consider how many people they had to accommodate, but nothing in comparison to the Curse Gaming House.
Team Curse recently competed for $5 million playing League of Legends. What do you think of how big esports is today around the globe?
Well, my first response to that was, why was I not told about the tournament? Secondly, I think it's good that esports is becoming so big, because when you think about it, gamers are the ones that are really pushing for the next advancements in gaming technology, and the main consumer market is really only going to benefit from that. They're always looking for the next faster processor, the next fastest set of RAM, the next fastest large format memory device, anything like that. I think it's a great thing.
And what do you think of League of Legends?
I think it's a lot of fun. Actually, I was playing it for a little while, and then a couple of my friends that are on the Olympic swimming team were playing Heroes of New Earth, so I started playing that with them, but obviously it's basically the same thing, so I love that whole Defense of the Ancients type gameplay. I'm excited for Dota 2.
Were you good at the game?
I was okay at it. I mean, every once in a while I'd have some games where I'd get, I think one of my best scores was like 17-3, but I don't know if any of the people that I was playing against were any good. It could have been a bunch of 5-year-olds for all I know.
What video games did you play growing up?
The first big video game I started playing was Diablo 2, and then I went from there to StarCraft, and I played that for a while, and then the biggest one that I've played for the longest time has been World of Warcraft, and I've played that since it was released.
What's your favorite video game memory from when you were younger?
Favorite video game from when I was younger? I'd have to say I have two. One of them involves Dota, and that was going over to my friend Adam's house. We had LAN parties all the time, and it would just be funny because it'd be like super late at night. All of our friends would be over, and we'd all start picking on somebody, and it was a lot of fun. And World of Warcraft I'd played for so long. I mean, I would play it way too much sometimes during the summer, and I still have friends from 5 or 6 years ago that I just played with on World of Warcraft, and they've supported me even though I haven't been playing for a while, and they'll constantly send me message and stuff about swimming. It's pretty sweet.
What server are you on in World of Warcraft?
I am on several of them. So there's not one particular server that I call mine, but there's one in particular that I'm looking forward to going back to once I get my gaming computer built.
And I heard there's even like an arcade for the Olympians that they built. What was that like?
I didn't hear about that, and it's probably a good thing that I didn't hear about that.
They don't tell you anything.
I guess not. They try to keep us swimmers in the dark.
Did you bring any gaming systems when you travel around?
If I know that there's going to be a hookup for it, sometimes I'll bring my Xbox, but that's about it.
If they had programming as an option when you were younger, do you think you would have explored that over swimming?
Video game programming?
Pro gaming.
Yeah, pro gaming. I'm not sure, because it wasn't really something that I got into at a super young age. I was obviously playing the older the older gaming systems when I was a little kid, but it wasn't something that was like, oh, I want to do this for a living, you know. And only until probably a couple of years ago would I have said, like, yeah, it would have probably been pretty cool if I had known that there was a way to have a life based off this type of stuff. It would have been pretty sweet. So maybe, I don't know.
What's your favorite piece of technology or gadget, and why?
I'd have to say the processor in general, because I mean everything that we do is based off of processors now, and some of the amazing things that they're starting to do with carbon nanotubes and things like that, and they're even getting into the next generation of processor architecture. So I think there's going to be some really interesting things coming in that whole area. But I think most of all, the processor is my favorite piece of technology.
And what are your goals for Rio 2016?
My goals for Rio 2016 are to come home with at least 3 gold medals, and hopefully I can do that and some more.
And Horde or Alliance, I have to ask?
Horde, of course, for the Horde.